Chapter 41 of Puss in Boots, Jr. and Tom Thumb. The Monstrous Crow. Tweedledum and Tweedledee resolved to have a battle, for Tweedledum, said Tweedledee, had spoiled his nice new rattle. "What are those children fighting over, I wonder?" said Puss Jr. to Tom Thumb. "We'll soon find out," replied Tom, hurrying over to where the two small boys were fisticuffing each other in great shape. "Come, come," cried Puss. "What means all this? Why should two small boys fight? Tell me what is it all about?" "Tweedledee broke my rattle," cried one of them. "I did not," replied Tweedledee. "I only rattled it a little too hard." And then they set to work again, pummeling each other with might and main. Just then flew by a monstrous crow, as big as a tar barrel, which frightened both the heroes so, they both forgot their quarrel. At the sight of the monstrous crow, little Tom Thumb crept into Puss Jr.'s pocket. Puss had already unsheathed his sword, ready to defend himself in case the monstrous bird should offer battle. But he didn't. He merely perched himself on a nearby tree and looked at our small hero. "Put away your sword," cried the crow. "I wouldn't hurt the scarecrow in yonder cornfield. Ha ha! Caw! Caw!" And the monstrous crow gave a monstrous grin. Indeed, he opened his beak so wide that Puss almost saw his tail at the other end. Tweedledum and Tweedledee stood by with mouths and eyes wide open. They were too surprised to say a word. And perhaps some of my little readers would have been so too, had they seen this monstrous crow. His wings were so long that they reached clear through to the other side of the big apple tree. His tail feathers reached down to the ground, and when he said, "Ha, ha, caw, caw," all the leaves trembled and turned inside out. But all this didn't make Puss Jr. the least bit afraid. No, indeed. He stood with his trusty sword in his good right paw, ready for anything. But nothing happened. The monstrous crow, after a short time, flapped his wings and flew away. And as he passed overhead, he cried out in a hoarse voice, "Though I be black as night, you should never take a fright. Though my wings are black and long, I could never do you wrong. So goodbye to you today. I shall soon be far away. There are other birds, you know, uglier than Mr. Crow." But, oh dear me! Puss and Tom Thumb had gone but a short distance when a blackbird suddenly swooped down and carried off little Tom Thumb. So swiftly did the bird snatch up the little fellow that Puss was hardly aware of what had happened until he heard Tom Thumb calling for help. The blackbird flew straight for its nest near the top of a tall pine tree. Puss pulled off his red-topped boots and commenced to climb up the trunk to rescue his little friend. End of Chapter 41.